Took it back.
Transform. Just a bit of a break from the norm. Just a little something to break.
I think when everybody hear that song, they automatically know it's summertime. It's gonna always be a summer anthem, no matter what. Welcome back, everyone. You are here with Snatch the Crown Podcast, an empowering podcast where we delve into the realms of spirituality, wealth, and the unyielding journey towards reclaiming your seat on the throne. I am Mo Divine, the transformational strategist, and I'm here with my lovely co-host, Sherelle Marie.
How are you? I'm doing good. I'm doing good. Nice and hot. It was real hot today. So, I'm
Let's get
glad
into
that the
it.
sun finally went down so we can talk about the sun.
All right, exactly. And that was why it was so hot today, because I'm pretty sure a lot of people may not know, but we are is in the energy of the summer solstice. Okay. That is one of the hottest, longest days, right? The sun is at its highest peak and on the summer solstice. So I'm sure all the rain has been dried up that many people have experienced over this past weekend, and the sun said, "Hey, I'm outside to play today." But with the summer solstice, there's actually a beautiful meaning behind it, where many cultures all over the world actually celebrate the summer solstice. It's a celebration. It's a time for them. Usually around this time is they're gathering their crops, okay, that they have planted in the springtime. So all those things that you may have planted, whether they're actual crops or whether they're seeds of manifestations, maybe some things that you have been wanting to call forth into your life. Well, guess what? This is the time where you're going to see all that hard work begin to play, to come into play right now. So let's get into it. Let's talk about the summer solstice. Sherelle Marie, tell us a little bit about the summer solstice and why is it important in many of the cultures?
Oh, I'm not going to tell you that, but I will tell you.
But you all going to tell me something.
I will tell you. Okay, so
let's just break it down for the people who may never heard of summer solstice and what that means.
Actually, you could go ahead and break that part down, because when I was kind of like sitting with it, for me, it was I went like elsewhere with it, other than like the like that general meaning behind all that. So I'm like,
no, look, you throwing me on the spot. No, that's just plain and simple. How I can put it, like summer solstice is that time of the year where the sun is at its highest peak in the sky. It is we're experiencing one of the longest days. From my understanding, I feel like it's the balance of hemispheres. So we have the eastern and the western hemisphere. They're coming into equal balance. So I think about that parallel, the pillars coming into place. For me, and for other people, who don't understand, I feel like this is a time of awakening during their summer solstice. This is where we are going through lots of major upgrades. That's why, your food intake may be, may be important. You may feel like the things that you need to eat, you may not have a desire for them during this time, because your body is going through these upgrades. So you're purging and you're going to be naturally wanting to fast. Okay. Because that is preparing for I think the summer solstice kind of bring in a few things, because right after we're getting ready to open to come into that the Cyrus energy, right, when the Lion's Gate portal begins to open up, and that is where I feel like everybody's wearing their crown in. Okay, that's the Leo, that lion energy coming through and saying, like, I've been in the gym pumping. I'm being courageous, I'm being bold, I'm being brave, and I am in my full embodied energy. And so for summer solstice, I think this is a time for everything. This is what you have wanted. Okay, you did the prayers and the planting of the seeds for the springtime. This is just a time to just like go ahead and start making those choices, weeding them out, and enjoying those things that you are bringing into your life. You know, many people do various different things with the summer solstice. Ritualing is one of those things, whether it is sun gazing or in some type of meditation. um a lot of people are just giving honor to the sun, right? Because without the sun, that's where we get the most of our energy from. And we're gonna kind of get into that a little bit later. But the sun is such an important factor into our life, and that's why many cultures do honor it. They worship the sun, and they give thanks, and they give gratitude, and they give offerings to this energy, to this portal. And the sun is kind of mysterious, right? Because there's many different things. People have speculation on what color is the sun. Is it orange? Is it red? Is it yellow? Is it white? Is it black? But indeed the sun is black, and in the perception of how we see, and different areas, and I want to say atmosphere plays a very important role in that too. The sun looks different colors. you know there was a time where I want to say this was recent, it's probably about a few months ago, where the sun was purple. Everybody was seeing the purple sunset, right? The sky was purple. Here the sky was this vibrant pink maybe a couple of months ago. So how is the sun able to maintain, go through these different change these different colors? What color is it? And that makes sense if you think about the color of black, because when light is shined on black, right, it's like it's almost like a prism. When you look through a prism or kaleidoscope, there's so many fractals of that sun that it bounces off other fractals, right? And it creates these different glows. But the sun is so mysterious, because will we ever know what is the true color of the sun?
Right.
But it's one of those beautiful things, because all the way back to like even ancient tablets, right? Even in the Bible, the sun existed, right? It was the light that was shine through this dark primordial vast space, and that light shine and created everything. And that's probably why everybody wants you to let your light shine, right? Gotta let your light shine, because you are giving off energy. You have that energy that you're emitting out into the atmosphere and into your spaces while you're with other people too as well. So that's one little tidbit on the summer solstice. You can light you some candles if you want to, to just show gratitude, to ask for a connection, because there is a connection that is taking place with this, with the summer solstice. It's preparing you for the fall equinox, okay, in September. So
yeah, so that's what I have wanted to basically break down, that there are like 4 different like these transitions of seasons, right? So it would start off with the spring equinox, March 21st, and then you have summer solstice, which actually starts June 21st, and then you have the fall equinox, which is September. Yeah, that's September 21st. That marks the beginning of Libra season. And then then winter solstice, which is December 21st. So basically, with the summer solstice, and what I have here is that it's the transition from action. So in the spring, everybody was planting their seeds, they were planning, all that, right? And of course, well, I ain't gonna say of course, because maybe not everyone knows, but they should know by now that the spring equinox marks the beginning of the new year. So like January, 30 or December 31st, January 1st, that's part of the winter solstice energy.
Mm-hmm.
So, like for me, like, okay, it's once, okay, New Year's Eve, New Year's Day hits or whatever,
Mm-hmm.
and you go into January, February, it's like I'm still feeling like I'm still finishing things up. It's only a new year for me because it's a new calendar year. And then, the whole hype around everything makes it seem like you're going into something new, but you're really not until the actual season changes to spring. So, it's transition from action. And then also it would be, the like a time for like nourishment and nurturing, yourself. So you have mentioned, you may want to fast during the summertime. Well, it's too damn hot to eat. Like,
Yeah, right.
it's too damn hot to eat. Like,
Exactly.
it was like years ago that I had made the connection. It's like, nah, like that's kind of gross to eat heavy in the summertime, because
Uh-huh.
like all that stuff is just like sitting up in your vessel and it's hot and all that, and it's like, ew. So during the summertime, like I eat light basically.
Mm-hmm.
And I even make my kids eat like, y'all not about to be eating all that heavy nasty shit because it's too hot now.
Mm-hmm.
And then also too, I thought of summer solstice being the second quarter of the new year. And then when you
Mm-hmm.
think of the months that are involved, it's well, so not the months, but I have like the signs. So it's Cancer, Leo, and Virgo.
Mm-hmm.
So during this summer solstice period, it's like, okay, what does Cancer represent? Cancer represents the mother, represents home, nurturing and all that good stuff. And then you have Leo, which you said is that royal energy, but also it's like, childlike play, so that's why
Mm-hmm.
I feel like, it's like,
I was gonna get into that too as well.
so it's like summertime. That's why, like, everybody is just focused on being outside, because it's
Mm-hmm.
like, you think of what we did as kids, we was outside. And then
Right.
Virgo, like, to close out the summer solstice, you have Virgo season, which is, you're getting your stuff organized or whatever for fall.
For fall, yeah. And
Yep.
another I want to add with Virgo too, you think about because most depictions of Virgo is like the Virgin Mary. And when we think about the Virgin Mary, we're looking at cleansing, purifying. So we
Mhm.
are like, it's that whole sector of energy. You got mama coming through to let her know, to give birth to her royal children, right? And go through the
Yep.
christening, all right, which is the purification process of Virgo, so that everything can come into balance with the Libra season. So everything literally plays a part um in it. And the beautiful thing about it is we're made up of all those signs. Everybody would like to talk about their sun sign all the time. Like, oh, I'm
Mhm.
a Capricorn, and that and that's all. But you have all 12 energies within inside of you. Whether there's a planet in that place or not, that energy is a part of you. So when you start understanding these energies and how you're behaving, because let's talk about that. Don't you? I feel like crying happens all the time, but in the summertime, isn't it a little bit excessive in crying? Right?
Yes.
It's hot
Mhm.
outside. People are their temperatures are flaring, and if you think about it too, there are always several retrogrades happen during the summertime, so they can't get no break with the redoing and the undoing of the retrogrades. On top of this energy, this cosmic energy that's come into place with Cancer season, um, and we is today it was today first day of Cancer, or is it tomorrow?
Tomorrow. The
Okay,
21st.
with the summer,
We're still the 20th. About an hour. About
okay.
an hour.
Okay, so about an hour away. Some people may
Yeah.
already be experiencing it, but however, if you think about to the old time where they the way they told time when the sun went down was actually the start of a new day. So technically, we are, because the moon is in Cancer right now, so technically we are kind of in this Cancer season. It's just the sun has not risen in the Cancer yet, but everything is so interesting how it plays a major part of the summer solstice, how all these things are connected, especially with the three energies, with the Cancer, Leo, and Virgo, and that may go over some people's head, but that's literally like a game changer, how you can literally make this summer solstice work for you to prepare you for the fall equinox. I always wonder, why is one called the solstice and one is called the equinox? Do you have that information for us?
I think I looked it up like a long time ago, but
I just always wondered that. We're gonna have to
like,
probably do a follow up.
It's like, what's the difference between an equinox and a solstice?
Right. You know what? We ain't got another little time for the little.
Look, I was like,
because if you just think about, so we have the fall. Is it the fall? And so the fall and the spring are the only two that have the equinoxes. In the winter and the summer are solstices.
Right.
we gonna look, people. We're gonna find the answer. We're gonna have it. So solstices are the longest and shortest days of the year, while equinoxes occur when the day and night are equally as long.
Got it.
Okay.
Okay.
It's almost like polarity. So I mean, it's definitely a polarity that comes into place when you think about that. But if you look at the charts, the sun is always equally in the middle between everything. So that's interesting. And we're talking about the sun. So you ever heard of the phrase that the sun is the center of the universe? Mm-hmm. Like, I mean, we know it is the center of the universe, but they say it in a way that, like, we're actually revolving around the sun, whereas we are thinking the sun is revolving around us. So are we really stationary, or is the sun stationary?
I feel like the sun is.
Okay.
Ain't we orbiting around the sun?
I think we are orbiting around the sun. So with that is why most people worship the sun, because it's almost like the center is the source.
Mm-hmm.
Because whenever we're telling someone, when we're centering, we're kind of going back to source.
Mm-hmm.
So I guess it makes sense why people like to sun gaze. Like, that is their way to get back to source. And sun gazing, you know what? Because sun gazing helps decalcifies the pineal gland. And a lot of times we could talk about everything that's covering up our third eye, right? Food,
right.
It's so many things that's keeping us from being open and just flowing with the center, flowing with source, because there's so many things that has us keeping us disconnected. So I feel like the sun, with the sun gazing, it does help decalcifies that energy, and so that you are able to open up to and connect with source. I had an experience, like, I had some experiences with the sun. The sun I've literally pretty much went outside and healed myself. And I think that's why they kind of tell you to stick. That's so weird, because you know how they tell you, when, especially think about jaundice, right? When the babies,
Mhm.
they put them up under a false light when all you gotta really do is just like sit outside up under the sun, because you're going to get the healing. Okay, you're gonna get the energy from the sun that's going to heal the cells in your cells within your skin cells. But they want to tell you to stay away from it. But we the only ones who are able to tolerate it, right? Like, too much of it, yeah, you're gonna get sunburned, but some people can't go out in the sun for very long like we can. They were little they there will be injuries.
Hold
Um
up, because I'm like, hold up, because I'm flexing my summertime complexion right now. Like,
okay, you're
I've
definitely
been out in the
glowing.
sun. I've been out in the sun walking and stuff. So I'm like, okay, I know I look a little more brown than I did a few episodes ago. But
But so let's
yeah.
talk about, so you've been out in the sun. What has been your experience? Have you seen a shift in your consciousness just by being out in the sun? I just want to just kind of, you hands on, you're experiencing this so other people can know like those benefits of the sun. What were some of your what's some things you've experienced during that time?
So, like, I'm basically just out in nature, period.
Mm-hmm.
So, the combination of like the sun and then like the trees and then like the water, which is funny because I just have wrote the elements of the three signs that are during the summer solstice are water, fire, and earth. So I've been absorbing fire from the sun, then there's water, and then of course the trees are the earth. But basically for me, yeah, I have been experiencing like downloads. Um, I would say even too, like because out here there's been like a lot of cloud like coverage and stuff like that. But when I'm out there and I'm like, walking and I want to feel the sun or whatever, I'll be like, come out or whatever. And then, the then the clouds like part ways and the sun peak a little bit. It's like, okay, cool. But yeah, definitely like connecting with the sun, but then also too, I always just feel like we should like get some type of sunlight time in, even if you're not sun gazing, just sit out and just let that heat just get you because of the light codes. Because so
Mm-hmm.
I had took a picture of the sky, the sun basically, and there was like this orb, right? So when I
Mm-hmm.
zoomed in on the orb, it looked like there was like some coding in there. I'm like, see, I knew it. So just so because basically the sun, that's like the giver of life. Like if we didn't have the sun, first of all, people would be going crazy, like depressed.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like I need the sun. Like I don't like when the sun ain't out like for days at a time because
Mm-hmm.
like I just need it for the energy. It helps me think. I feel more alive. I feel more, just in tune with,
Mm-hmm.
my vessel. I guess you could say that. Um, let's see. That's pretty much it. Like, yeah, that's pretty much it. But yeah.
No, a couple of things that I wanted to kind of go back what you were talking about, light
Mhm.
codes, right? I always feel like light codes was this universal language, whether we understand it or not, but it's this universal language that we are giving that helps us navigate the energy, right? Because they
Mhm.
help with healing, they help with, a lot of times they help with ascension, um and they help unlock consciousness within inside of you that you would have not been able to get from a channeling from a particular deity. So light
Mhm.
codes have been known to heal, right? I It was so funny. TikTok had this little they was on a frenzy, right, where people were doing the light codes, and it was a couple of people, right?
Mm-hmm.
I know it's a gift and it sounds different, but it was wild. They were doing some it was almost like borderline acting to me. But I can't say because I've seen someone channel that light code energy, and I've heard what it sound. I felt what it sound like. But do you think that TikTok is one of those places that kind of what how do I want to say, like, take away from the authenticity of true light code channelers? Um because I feel like a lot of times are those trends. Like, are people really being able to have to channel these, or they're just making these things up? Because I don't. When I think about light codes, I don't always hear. I don't think it as something that can be heard. I think of more of a visual that's supposed to be seen, like a symbolism. So, is it possible to? I guess I'm asking two questions at one. Like, is it possible to be able to speak the light codes energy? And if so, does TikTok give this thing this creates this playground to have false um light code people
Well, that's
readers?
just, I think that's just social media in general, you know,
Mm,
that give it
okay.
just gives space for imposters.
Because I never saw anything like that on Facebook's platform, right? So I'm not saying that
Right.
anyone ever did, but it was like it was trendy. It was trending. So I'm like, okay, are these real people doing
Like,
this,
what
or
was
do you
they
think?
doing? Because I don't be on there like that. I'm
Listen,
like,
they
oh,
were.
it's 11:11. I'm like, it's
uh,
11:11. But
when
what
time
you doing?
permits,
Uh-huh.
you can probably type in like light code channelers,
Mhm.
or light code language, and it's a few people that are not like us that are doing it. So I'm just one. I just then and it's more than usual. So it's kind of one of those things. I'm like, okay, they playing in our face again? Like, is this really? And then one lady, she was doing yoga and she was like standing all on the man. It was weird. It was getting kind of
What?
weird.
I
Yes,
was,
like and see, that's the thing. The true authenticity, like, these were things that natives were doing. I'm not saying that no one can be able to have access of it, but to certain spaces, to put it out there like that, it kind of yeah, it sends me, it has me looking sideways sometimes. I'm like, cause they just be out here playing with things that some things you just don't play with. That's like a native tongue, okay?
what
You are
is,
getting this informations from this source, and you just out here playing. But I guess, like you said, there are imposters everywhere.
hold
So
on. I'm looking at it right now.
you see, they have people that be singing, like singing songs and everything. I'm telling you, once you start the rabbit hole, you down there. Like, you can't get out.
Well, okay. We just go off the side right quick. But with the Reiki,
Uh-huh.
how they be on here doing how they be on here doing the Reiki, like I be like, oh shit, like they be doing all these hand signs and shit. I'm like, oh,
They
I
throwing up
okay,
gang signs.
that must be new. That must be the new
That's
kind.
what I'm
But
saying. Like, that you might as well. I know Reiki can actually, I understand that a lot of these are practices that we have been doing for many, many years, and it's kind of in us. And sometimes you just need an activation, but a lot of how to, channel these symbols. Putting it out there for just anybody to mimic you without knowledge of preparation, grounding, because there's so many steps that you have to go through before you just say, hey, let me shoot you some Reiki. You get what I'm saying? So it's almost like you're giving these people the tools, but you ain't giving them no guide, and they just out here do willy-nilly sending energy and not even knowing what they doing. So
that's light folks.
Yeah, it's the light folks. They be the ones. They I feel like they infiltrating. It's definitely infiltration that's taking place, but it's a level of they playing with our practices. I'm just gonna say that they're playing with our practices. These ancient tools that have been passed down from generation, and even other cultures too as well. They're playing with it, and it takes away from us who are true, authentic, doing not for show, not to get no likes. I understand where you may want to be trying to build your business, but just to be getting likes and follows, I don't. It's not genuine. It takes away from it. So, but that's why they need a little purification from the sun, because they'll know not to act like that.
Because I'm like, what is they doing?
I'm telling you, it's a rabbit hole. Y'all listen. If you go down the rabbit hole, I'm telling you, you're gonna be there for a minute, because you're gonna be so like, what is they doing? And you just can't stop, but you want to stop. That's how TikTok is. You want to pull.
And I'm like, I don't even want to receive none of that. Like, I'm like,
yeah, you definitely seal your aura, all that while you're going into it, because it's definitely happening. And so with the Cancer energy, and we're dealing with the cosmic mother, and it is the beginning of the summer. Why do you think that that happened like that? Because everything happens like for a reason. Do you think there is a mystery behind why they have Cancer?
I will tell you this, because I wrote this down. So remember, before we had started, I was telling you about this where is it?
The children of the let's talk about
the children of the sun gene. And hold on, let me see if I still have it up. But yeah, it was so when I first started delving into like spirituality and everything, it was stated that the sun represented the father and the moon represented the mother, right? So with this children of the sun gene, it was saying that this gene is found in people, in those who regarded the sun as a female, as female and the first divinity. So let me see. It's saying that the Choctaw Indians, who exhibit a frequency of 36% of this gene, return the spirits of the dead to the mother creator by exposing their bones to sunlight after bone picker priests defleshed them. Among the Natchez Indians, the paramount chief was called the Great Sun. He was always the son of the S-O-N of the female S-U-N, whose daughter would be the mother of the next great sun. So I'm guessing that's why. because but okay, so when you in astrology, Cancer is ruled by the moon. But you know how they be telling us things in reverse.
That because the moon, they're saying our moon has been hijacked. I'm pretty sure you've heard the conspiracy theories, and it's a big satellite. I think I'm trying to figure that out, because what I can say, the moon feels different than now than when I was a little girl. I remember the little song. Do you remember the song? Like, I see the moon and the moon see me. God bless the moon and God bless me. That was like the I was always told there was a man in the moon when I was a little girl, which I've always been fascinated with the moon, especially the full moons, riding in the car, and it was like right there. Like I feel like I can literally just touch it. And it always made it seemed like it was a face. And I just knew something was inside of there. Like I just felt a connection to it. And that was like a little song that my mom had taught. And I would say it as a little girl, but when you think about the sun, when you think about the song, it's like maybe I'm the moon, okay? Because if God blesses the moon, then God bless me. So it made me think about a connection, and it was like, as long as I've been connected, as long as I'm connected to this moon, then I will be blessed. And it's funny because I actually kind of made that connection probably about 8 months ago. That childhood memory came up, and I was like, wow. It made me, however, so when it comes to the woman, we are definitely connected to the moon in this cycle, right? So my mind was like, even if that moon is hijacked, our goal, as especially women's goal is to go back and connect back to source, right? Our source is the moon. Cancer mama, okay? So as long as we're connecting back to source, we're balanced, we are in flow. Like that's when we are able to really be in connected with nature and control the weather and different things like that. Once we make that connection back to that source, that is what our ultimate goal is to connect back to source. But we have to find the balance, because you have so many people only want to do rituals for the moon, but we're forgetting about the sun as well. And if we're looking at sun as being the father, you need the mother and the father in order to have the child, right? And that's how we are children of the sun. Are we children of the sun? Because we did title this
How will
live.
we be children of the moon?
You said we'll be children of the moon?
I'm saying, okay. I feel like I feel like we're both.
I do. Because you gotta just think about, like, go back to where we was talking about how we're part of each zodiac sign is a part of us. We're
Oh, but
fractals.
hold on right quick, because look, every human, they start off as female,
Mm-hmm.
right? So, and then like later on down the line, then it forms whatever, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I I'm thinking, like, I'm with the natives as far as the sun being like the female,
Mm-hmm.
the sun being like the female, because who gives life?
Oh no, because we can kind of go deep, right? Because you got to think about, okay, so we talk about the woman in the womb, right? What we know of it's a dark portal, and in order for a seed to get planted, there must be light. So is the man emitting the light, or is it the energy that comes in
Not
between
because
them?
but women was producing their own babies, I thought, in the beginning. Like, and
They
when you think of
true.
some I had saw an article, like some bird or something, like it was able to there was like females, all females or
Uh-huh.
whatever, but then they have babies without a male.
I think I think it's called asexual reproduction.
Mhm.
Um, it is a form of it's a different type of form. Yeah, I was down a rabbit hole about that too. Once before, because it is very much possible to be able to reproduce without sex, and that was where it will be involved if a woman was to give birth. She's not having she's not doing the sexual reproduction like mammals and humans do. Um, so yeah, that's why it is a asexual, but it's a different type of reproduction too as well. All right, because the woman has the light has to enter the womb in order for the seed to be planted. So that's where my mind is just I'm just questioning, just wrapping around. So if light has to enter her womb, is it her own light that she has connected with source? Because everybody don't know they light. That's why we have we say let your light shine. So a woman who's not letting her light shine, is she experiencing infertility? Because at the end of the day, in order that seed, if we're talking about in human form right now, that seed has to see where to go. So if we're eliminating that the man is not the light, is the how do the woman connect to her light in order for her womb to don't be a dark
connect to source. That's how Mary got pregnant without
connecting to source.
And so connecting to source. But then I wanted to say how the soul SOL is like fun, and so soul source. When humans like us, like we connect to our over soul, like because that's our source, that's our God, selves and everything like that. So, and then also to mention the sun is black, so that would be the dark before the light. I don't know.
No, I mean, we may be onto something because now I'm like, so have we unlocked the code? Are we worshiping the wrong thing? Because you got to think about it. We're doing all these moon rituals when we were taught, right? Early in when people are moving into their independent spirituality, what they telling you to do? Moon rituals. Everybody's telling you to do
like
moon
the sun has a cycle too. That's, you feel me? Like it, because every 30 days or wherever, like it goes to a new season. So that's still like a cycle. So
absolutely. So nobody ever talks about the sun when it's almost safe to say is the sun is the true bringer of life. You did state that it's the creation of life, because actuality nothing can be produced without light. I just think about because we're transformational healers, right? And we look into people who are infertile, and whether it's man or woman, they usually got some darkness going on around them, whether it's a sexual trauma, whether it's just any type of trauma, there's darkness there. And they'll be like, oh, we'll never have children. Now they don't believe what these white coat people done told them that can happen, because their plan is they don't want us to reproduce anyway. So of course they're gonna say, no, you can't do that. Right. Create that fear in your mind. So you're gonna think that you never have. But as long as you're having that light and you're connected to that source, I think you're able to bring forth those energies that want to be reincarnated. And talk about sun sign too. And I just want to bring this, sun sign, a lot of that, people talk about that, but sun sign is important because that is who you are for your focus this lifetime. And that's why so many people are focused on their sun sign, because that's almost like your karmic lesson. That's what you got to come back and redo, because you missed it last time. So we're going to bring you back as what's the most hated? Gemini, people. Geminis and Sagittarius is one of those two. They be like, kill it, right? They're in opposition to one another. Why do you do that?
Nah, I disagree with the two most hated signs. So
what's the most hated? I'm not gonna throw me up under the bus, because everybody will swear Capricorns are so loved.
No, well, everybody be talking about Libras. Everybody be talking about Libras too. No, they be like Libras. But no, I think cancers and Pisces.
Cancers and Pisces. So is it safe to say water signs? Because we always would go throw Scorpios.
Nah, Scorpio cool. Scorpio cool.
Okay. But they're hated too now. People don't like it's so funny. I just like to see the little debates where they be like, kill it, throw it away.
Right.
Like in order to survive, you got to get rid of the sign. What sign you gonna get rid of? Which is impossible. You know what I'm saying? Because it's a part of you too. Like, so you can't get rid of. And that's what I've learned. When I used to have issues with particular signs, I was like, you know what? Maybe I need to see where they are in my charts.
Right.
Because maybe I'm missing something. And that kind of gives me insight on areas that I have to work on myself. And because in actuality, we are all reflections of one another. So that's just super funny. But yeah, our sun sign is it comes here to help us. It helps narrow us down to what we have to focus this lifetime, because that is actually how we're going to ascend. We talked about on an episode once before, in order for you to do that 360 spiral, you have to meet the opposite side of you. For me, I got to meet the opposite. I got to go over there and chill with the Cancers a little bit. And for you, you got to go over there and chill with the Aries. And then you're going to come back to your Libra, because that's who you came here to focus on this lifetime. But you learn the lesson of opposition. And then you're able to do that full 360. And that's what everything too, because like even the sun is a spiral. Like everything in the universe is a spiral. And the reason why I say that, have you ever stared at the sun like long enough? And I know this is bad, but when we were children, we did some of the craziest stuff that they tell you. It's like that's why we probably got I wouldn't necessarily that makes our eyes bad, but it could be a reason why we may, seeing fuzzy things, because we stared at the sun for a very long time. But if you stare at it long enough, you can see the spirals. It looks like the eye on the stove.
Mm-hmm. No, you're right.
And everything is spiral. That's why spirituality is what spirals. Everything is constantly happening. So that also just furthermore lets me know that is how we know that we are connected to source. We got to shout out to Ra. We can't talk about the sun and don't get a shout out to Daddy Ra, the ultimate sun god. Okay, that
royalty,
right? Royalty. Let's talk. Give us some tidbits on how we can use the energy of Ra during this summer solstice that can help us really elevate and prepare us for the fall equinox. He gonna give us some channeling information. He gonna come through with the message.
So with Ra energy for the summer solstice, I would use that like for elevation, like so just to unlock higher levels of consciousness. To let me see. Yeah, to unlock higher levels of consciousness. So remember, once like we're closing out the summer solstice with getting organized and planning it forward. So you're gonna have expanded and further vision through working with Ra during this time. Let's see. And just igniting that fire. Igniting the fire within. I would say too, it would be to like unlock like Kundalini. Unlock Kundalini. Because that's basically, your life force energy. Right? Yeah, and just to soar to high heights, live your life, be free. allow yourself to um, just indulge in like the energy of like playfulness and just even building a relationship like with nature, with the sun, because you want to be like tapped in to not only your body, but then the body of the of humanity, I guess, Earth.
Mm-hmm.
um let's see, that's about it that
Mm-hmm.
I got. How about you?
Gratitude, Ra, for that information.
How about you?
So for me, I would use, so I think when you were talking, I heard renewal. Okay. So I feel like he is definitely helping you get into that creative space, so that you are able to create in a way that is in alignment with your own mission and your purpose. Because in order for you to really experience this renewal, experience the energy of him, you do have to kind of be have a level of sovereignty, right? Being able to understand that you are your own governing body. No one have authority over you. You have complete authority of yourself. So with that too is kind of like wants you to take your power back, give you to feed your soul and energizes you. I also hear protection when I think about Raw during this time, because like we stated, summertime, it's hot, people a little crazy, a little weird, eclipses, retrogrades, a lot of things are happening during this time. So put you in a state of protection, because um you got to protect yourself from the sun too as well. The sun can be very damaging to your skin with prolonged exposure. um but using that and for this time to really just connecting with rods, to connect with your light body, right? Because I feel like that is the only way that you are able to utilize that energy, that solar energy, to create, to move around those energies that is within. So clearing out the old, bringing in the new, which is with renewal, so that you people are able to tap into their light body, so they're getting those correct informations through their DNA, through those genes that's passing along and giving this information. So um the bold, I think about boldness too. So just tapping into that bold energy. So being courageous, no matter I don't care if it's raining, I'm still gonna come out. Like I'm still outside. Like I'm still out there. Like if you
Confident.
said in times, when it's raining and the sun just is shining, it's bright, like you ain't stopping no show at all. Like I'm here.
Right.
Gonna dry up all your tears once it's done, and create a beautiful rainbow in the process of it. So
And then
just
so when you said tap into like your light body,
mhm,
I heard that, and also like make your body light.
definitely make your body light, because during
Mhm.
this time, during this awakening, especially like with the Lions Gate portal, during that particular energy, starting like from July the 3rd, it's at its highest at like July the 9th. I want to say it is at its highest peak, but that portal was open all the way up until like August the 16th, right? It's open for like 45 days. It's just levels to everything that's taking place. But as these portals are beginning to open, Raj is simply shining through, right? Giving you the ability to create life, giving you life, is also putting things to death too as well, that needs to die. Because think about it, if your plants, your crops get too much sun, they'll die. So you have to know how to properly take care of them, like you're supposed to do. And another thing too is like parasites don't like heat. Okay. So if any, parasitic energy is internal and external, right? So just connecting with that light to remove those parasitic energies so that you can be back to wholeness. And that's just simply what if you want to go to want to get back to wholeness, tap in with Ra. He gonna help you. And he definitely loves his children. He knows who his children are. You're gonna see the ones who glow. Miss Sherelle is a child of Ra. You see her beautiful glow. And I do think we're all children of Ra because, like we said, if Ra is mama, is that portal that brings forth life, then of course we all came from the light. So that's what it's all about. Essentially, y'all, I think we just pretty much in a nutshell told you to connect back to source. Connect to the lights, right? Connect back to that light so you can shine your light because we're all lights, right? We just don't see our light, and we're in the season of letting our light shine and being a beacon of who we're here to serve, right? Whether it's the service of our first we're going to definitely be a service of ourselves, but other people have other missions where they have to be of service to others too as well. So you can't be in service in others if you're not allowing your light to shine. So ultimately we want everyone to connect back to source, right? So you can let your light shine. And I think about let your soul glow. You remember?
Yeah.
Soul glow. Think about that. How they feel. Everything is symbolism, right? It was the baddest thing walking right when you were going to like your soul glow, and that's what really happens when you're walking in your light and your light is shining. You're gonna blind some people. They're gonna be like, oh, too much. They're gonna run in the house, but it's okay. But you're gonna have the other ones, they're gonna put their shades on, they're gonna be like, I'm outside with you. I'm shining with you. We're gonna shine together. So
Yeah.
I feel like that's
So I want to mention that our very own young Dolph was born during the summer solstice.
mm-hmm.
Right smack dab in the middle. Leo.
Right smack dab in the middle.
During the
And
Lions. Wait, during the Lionsgate
look,
portal.
I was like, that's right during that portal energy that's going on.
Mhm.
Wow. I wonder. I'm curious to know. I'm like, what phase was the moon in? Because that would definitely kind of gives a different a different perspective on the energy he is. But just we already said that Leos are the cosmic family, right? They're the royal family, okay? That's royalty, right? So that lets me know that royalty was definitely birthed with him, and he knew who he was. That's why he popped his like he did, because he knew what he was, and nothing is ever by mistake. Everything happens for a reason. So he was born slap dab in the middle of the summertime during the Lionsgate portal, under that Leo sun energy.
It
Okay,
was waxing gibbous moon.
waxing gibbous. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, let's see. And let's see. Oh wow. So on this day the moon is 9.81 days old. That's 99.
Right. Okay.
Um
And he was born on a 9 day because the 27 is a 9.
right. Sure was. Okay. Um
What
this
else you gonna?
It says this is the phase where the moon is more than 50% illuminated, but has not yet reached 100% illumination.
Mm-hmm.
Let me see. I was trying. It was in. I believe it said it was in Sagittarius.
I forgot what.
Yeah. Yep. So yeah, it was in Sagittarius.
He came. Oh, he was fire, baby. Right? Fire,
Yeah.
fire. Double fire. He came in with a mission. And I think about that Sag energy because you think about that's like I think about God energy. You know, people talk about Cancer, but I think about God being Sagittarius energy because philosophy, um, that temperance energy, you know, it's where like I've done everything. I don't went through the depths of everything and I've been judged. Only God can judge me at this point now. So I think about, you know, and it is a temperance card in traditional tarot. So yeah, Sagittarius energy that either furthermore lets me know definitely is a God. Definitely God coming in the building. Ooh.
I wonder if
And
I'm wondering if his lineage like is connected to the 13 families.
now because you know he was born in Chicago, right? He was born in Chicago. Is that where he was? And he lived there for quite some time.
Well,
Yeah, think about
he had went to Memphis like when he was like 3. I think I have. Yeah.
So, you know, he probably remembers some things, but don't probably remember a lot. But reason why I was gonna say, you know, Chicago was just one of those areas for where a lot of um the people from down this way migrated to Chicago. You know, like Mississippi, Louisiana, certain parts of Alabama. They didn't want to go to New York, so they decided to go to Chicago. Um, there is a lot of I think about those free cities, you know, that you during that time. There's so much energy there that brings in. There were royalty, okay. Those people were well established during those times. So we're gonna have to do a sidebar and do some digging on that because
Yeah, well, I'm looking at because you know I'm a numbers person, so
right,
it was like this one number says 79.24 is some distance or whatever the moon, uh, which that's equals 13. I stopped at 13, in which when I first actually sat with him and accepted, okay, like, you know, he's talking to me and communicating with me or whatever. He brought that up about 13.
The number 13, 13 families.
Yeah, so being that this came out to 13 and then this other one was a 9, he's a life path 3. He has like that 369 energy. But yeah, we're gonna talk about him.
Yeah.
More, like, I'm just saying. Well, and then look at this article. This motherfucking article, excuse my French, was November 17th. But it was 2020. The 17th, wasn't that the day that he passed? I think it was November 17th.
It was between the 17th and the 22nd. It was like that time is a blur. It was the 17th.
November 17th, 2021. Yep.
All right, he's gonna always forever give us information to let us know that we're on the right path, okay? No matter.
Huh? I said, yeah, he was 36 years old.
Yeah, because I know we were down that whole rabbit hole too. Like 9 day, 36 years old,
Right.
and we're finding out more information just by talking about children of the sun today. In the summer, so celebrating the summer solstice, y'all. Listen, without him, this wouldn't even be possible. So we're gonna forever give him a shout out. But that was just real time. Y'all see that this is divinely aligned, and we can't make this up, even if we wanted
I'm
to.
like, at all.
Even if we wanted to, y'all. So we're gonna have some goodies for y'all Thursday tomorrow. Our Thursday show is gonna be a really, really good show. We're super excited. You gotta be there. We ain't gonna give you no tidbit just too yet. We gonna give you too much. We wanna make sure you come back and stay tuned. Make sure you're following us. Like and follow. Make sure you hit that notification bell so you are aware of when we go live every Tuesday and Thursday on YouTube. And of course, we do have audio replay available on your favorite platforms, Spotify, Amazon Music, and there's a few more that's out there. But tune in with us on there. Make sure you're following the page on Facebook as well for any updates that we may be having, and Instagram at Snatch the Crown Podcast. Now IG, right? If you're gonna follow us on IG, you're gonna kind of get we're gonna start next week, right? We're gonna start doing little extra special things over there on the IG page, right? So make sure you're following us on IG so you can be ready for when we drop the exclusive content for our IG followers. We'll soon have a subscription where y'all get some really, really exclusive content to where you just kind of just have access. It's going to help you snatch that crown because that's what we here to do. Anything else you would like to add before we head on out this evening, love?
No, ma'am.
All right, so um yeah, just make sure y'all following us, keep up with us, tune in, tell a friend to tell a friend, right?
Tell a friend.
Because this is what's going to happen. We're here to help you level up. This is the time we're getting ready to level up, and we're gonna take off like a rocket out here in these streets. All right, so thank you for tuning in with us tonight. We're gonna keep you on for a long time. All right, we're gonna catch you Thursday, same time, same place, and y'all have a good night.
Good night.
I've been fucking these hoes for hours, man. I told y'all nigga that this my year, little nigga.